With me is Dr. Jason Pittman. Jason, welcome back.
Thanks, Dan. Hey, everybody.
Jason, I was impressed with the quality of play in NCCDC this year, as well as the progress made in enabling spectators to view how teams were performing. My top 3 teams were correct, although not in the order I picked. Before we start, I want to show you a picture posted on Twitter by ITT Tech Boise. Pound Uncle Jimmy was a hit, and although your tip did not pay off this time, we had a lot of fun with it. Jason, Uncle Jimmy, next year?
You know, the hashtag Uncle Jimmy has legs, I'm not sure if Uncle Jimmy does have legs anymore at this point.
Well, I'm going to ask you about a competition coming up, see if Uncle Jimmy has any input to that one.
Sure.
But let's talk about the clip that we just saw. What do you think?
You know, I agree. I think we saw the teams really upping their game. More importantly, I know you have some great insights into the spectator, the voyeurism of the sport, and how some of the things we saw might enable some future innovation.
Well, I think I saw a turning point because this year there was a real attempt to have spectators view how the competition was going. What I think we really need now is to take the play-by-play that Dr. White was talking about and see what we can do with it. What I'd like to see next year is one of the regionals or nationals wants to do it, to have these 2 commentators receive a list of 50 exploits and 50 injects. And these are the exploits and the injects that could be used in the competition. So they know in advance what the potential exploits and injects are, they read up on them, and they have knowledge of this going into the competition. Then when there is an exploit that's being tried out or an inject that's being delivered, they know at that point what it is and what they can say about it, and they're communicating this to the audience. So they're communicating to the audience live what the exploit is, how it works, and how the teams are being scored by it. When an inject is occurring, they're explaining to the audience the importance of the inject, why it matters in the context of the competition, but also in the context of the real world. I really think that we're close to having this play to an audience.
Yeah, and I think it's the last piece to really complete the true sports analogy. When you sit back and you watch football, basketball, baseball, whatever, you have the color commentators. Esports, the same thing. However, in those situations, those commentators have the benefit of expertise like our commentators do, but also the benefit of seeing the plays develop in real time. The nature of cyber competitions inherently is different because the technology makes that opaque. Mm-hmm. So I think it's important, and it's interestingly that it's trivial, to rig up either a simple audio cue or a visual cue between the red team and the color commentators to say, red, if it's red, the light, then it's the red exploit. Mm-hmm. Or, hey, I'm running the red exploit.
Or we can have these visual cues, and I know up to now there's been some concern about too much knowledge for the teams while they're playing. We don't want them to know what the injects are. We don't want them to know what the exploits are before the competition. But I think we're getting past the point of having it be hidden from the audience, and I don't think it's going to affect the team play.
No, and in fact, I tend to have 2 problems with that scenario. Keeping things secret. First of all, it's unrepresentative of reality. In the real world, in industry, you know what vulnerabilities are out there, unless we're talking about 0 days, but 0 days are 0 days because they're 0 days, right? But otherwise, you know what's possible. The other thing is it's very bad game design. Keeping it secret is the equivalent of me going out on a quest in World of Warcraft, but the game not giving me the quest text. Well, where the hell am I going? I would have no idea.
Well, since I'm involved with the Western Regional, I'm volunteering us to try this as a pilot next year. But let's get back to Uncle Jimmy. So we have DEVCON coming up in the summer. At what point is Uncle Jimmy going to have a pick?
Well, I think the doctor told him 3 to 6 weeks till he can talk. That kind of gets us out to the pre-qualifier, and I think we'll have some better ideas then.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, Dan. See you, everybody.
We will be back next week with a discussion with Dr. Greg White of UTSA SAIS on the Collegiate Cybersecurity Championship Cup. If you have a competition you would like us to cover in a future show, please contact us at cyberfed.org. I'm Dan Manson. See you next week.